Hey guys, took a little trip this weekend to the upper part of the state that I live in, and while we were up there, there were, yard sales and garage sales like everywhere. So there were a few that my wife saw some things that she wanted to look at, and well, I kind of went along with it. Not that I really wanted to, but I'm glad I didn't argue too much because I actually found a yard sale where they had a bunch of comics and graphic novels and different things. So, anyway, picked up Queen and Country, Volume One. Um, this was a series that was put out by Oni Press, I'm guessing. It actually won an Eisner Award for, I guess, for being pretty good. Anyway, it's about a female assassin, which I'm pretty sure she is British. Anyway, I haven't started reading it yet, but glancing through it, this seems like a pretty darn good series, and I got these for these graphic novels. As you're going to see, I got these for $1 a piece. Also picked up Volume 4. I wish this fellow would have had Volumes 2 and 3, but, anyway, nonetheless. Got those. Got Daredevil, End of Days. Just looked like a really cool story. As you can see by the cover, it's a Brian Bendis written story. Let me see what it says about this. It says, this tells the last tale of the man without fear, and that he is brutally slain by a deadly enemy in a very public place. So, very interested to read this story. This one, Walt Simonson, The Judas Coin. I'm a Batman fan. I didn't have this story, so thought I'd pick it up. I think it chronicles a coin that was actually used to pay off Judas at the crucifixion of Christ, and it follows it through history. And sounded like an interesting concept, an interesting story. So for $1, picked it up. Now, the Program, Volume 2. I had picked up Volume 1 here a while back. This is about a super secret weapons program that the Soviets developed to basically conquer the United States. And after the Berlin Wall fell and communism kind of took a downturn in the former Soviet Union, a rogue general and some of his compatriots decided to revive this program and create these super soldiers that they were going to unleash on the United States Army. So anyway, this is Volume 2 of that story. Last Days of the Justice Society. As you can see, this is a pretty thick book. This has the stuff that Roy Thomas did in the mid-'80s with, it was called The Last Days of the Justice Society. And it's got a lot of the Secret Origins series. It reprints the origins of pretty much everybody that was in the Justice Society, from the Secret Origins series. It's got those in there too. Really cool, big thick book, got a lot of cool stuff in it. Picked this one up just, because it was $1 and, I wanted to read it. Batman Arkham City, as you can pretty much guess, it's based on the video game. Got that Kingdom Come, Part 3 from Justice Society. I've got these in the comic form, the original issues, but I hate to pull them out and read them and basically, have them fall apart. So I picked this one up, and because I've got Volume 2. Also got Storming Paradise. This is, as you can guess, a World War II story, which I always love World War II stories. This one was written by Chuck Dixon, and it's about the invasion of Japan right at the end of the Second World War. Looked like a really good story, so for $1, picked it up. Got Superman versus Mongol. This reprints a lot of the late 80s, early 90s fights between Superman and Mongol. I'm pretty sure it's even got the Superman annual where they have the Mongol story for the man who has everything. It reprints that in here, which I've read that a couple times, but it's good to have it, you know, in a format where I can read it and not feel guilty that I'm messing up a book, an original comic. Got Daredevil Man Without Fear. This is volume 1. This is all of the Ed Brubaker stories that they did in the, I believe, in the late 90s, maybe early 2000s. Anyway, I wasn't following Daredevil then, but just flipping through it, looked like a really, really cool story, so picked it up. Daredevil, Dark Nights. This one, let me flip it over here, see. Yeah, there's a little girl that needs a heart transplant, and Daredevil is racing against time to get the heart there, and he's having to fight the Shocker along the way. He's tracking a fugitive and trying to reclaim stolen evidence that Matt Murdock needs to protect his innocent client, while the Avengers confront massive monster mayhem in the streets of New York City. And he ends up in the Caribbean. So sounds like a really slow, ponderous, and dull story. Yeah, right. But anyway, so I picked that one up for $1. And I found this one too. It's called The Mystery Play. It's from Vertigo in the early, let's see, this came out in 1994. It's by Grant Morris. It's a Grant Morrison story. I've read this one. Read it right after I got it. This is about a passion, what they call a passion play, where over in England, where they put on a story, a play illustrating the Passion Week of Christ, and the guy who plays Christ is murdered, and this detective comes to investigate it, and that's when the story gets strange. It incorporates a lot of like Friedrich Nietzsche's philosophy. Just about everything in here is in this book is allegorical or symbolic, very symbolic. And if you can find this, and you're a Morrison fan, of course I would encourage you to pick it up. But if you can find it, just to read something that'll kind of stretch your mind a little bit. This is also illustrated by a fellow named John Muth. He did the comic book adaptation of the Fritz Leiber movie called M, which was about a child molester. And the artwork is very moody, very dark. And it fits the mood of the story. Good story. It's just it kind of leaves you with this kind of icky feeling at the end. It's almost like you read something you shouldn't have. Anyway, if you could find it cheap, I'd recommend picking it up. All right. Also picked up a few comics. Got Commandy Challenge #1. I just picked it up because it's Commandy and because it was Commandy. And anyway, they were 50 cents a piece. So I've been hearing about this book called Hillbilly by Eric Powell from different people online, and Found this issue number 11, so thought I'd pick it up and just kind of sample it and see what it's all about. Got Battle of the Planets number 6 and number 7. I've always liked Battle of the Planets. Liked it when I was a little kid. And I picked up some other issues of the Battle of the Planets series from Top Cow / Image, and they were really good. They really captured the cartoon and the atmosphere in that. So I thought I'd pick that up. I had heard about this. It's Batman. This is a premium that came with a game called Batman Dark Tomorrow. I have heard that this is actually kind of rare. I don't know that for certain, but I thought I would pick it up. Just, why not? Besides, I'm a Batman fan, so if you're a completist, it's pretty cool to have. Anyway, on the back of it was Batman Beyond number 22, which he sold me that one for, 50 cents for both of them. Got Captain America number 409 and number 411. Just fills a hole. I needed those two, didn't have them, so picked them up. Got Robin number 175, part of the Batman Rest in Peace storyline. I just like the cover. It's reminiscent of the artwork that was done for the Death in the Family trade paperback by Jim Aparo. Let's see if I can locate it real quick, just in case you haven't seen it. Let's see here. Yeah, here it is. Anyway, so you see this, see that? That's what that looks like. Death in the Family trade paperback. Anyway, picked it up just because I'm a Batman fan. I like to read it. Not exactly sure if I have this one or not. This is The Spirit, number 17 from Kitchen Sink Press. I may already have it, but anyway, I'm a Spirit fan, so picked up a few issues of Green Lantern. Got number 92, 93, 96, 97, and number 107. These were issues I needed to fill holes. Glad to pick them up, especially cheap like that. And they weren't so expensive that I don't feel guilty reading them. Also got Invincible Iron Man number 97. Again, fill a hole. He also had Superboy number 133. This is from 1966. It's in rough shape, but heck, 50 cents. Thought I'd pick it up. And this one, I have seen these. This is Gold Key, Hanna-Barbera Super TV Heroes. It's got the Herculoids, Birdman, Shazam, and the Mighty Mightor in it. This was a series that was on TV in the late 60s, mid-late 60s. This is issue number 2. I'd seen these. People picked these up. It's just a fun comic. It's adaptations of the stories that were on the TV show. And again, for 50 cents, why not? Anyway, that is my haul. Not sure when I'll film the next one. This one was kind of a surprise. I wasn't actually out looking for comics, but usually when you're not looking for them is when you find them. But anyway, like, comment, subscribe, and hopefully we'll see you again pretty soon. Have a good one.